Thanks again for tuning in to the Big Business YouTube channel. You are tuned in to part 2 of the behind the scenes with Scooby Lucious, owner and operator of Mancave Studios. If you haven't watched part 1, make sure you go back and check that out. But this is part 2 of the interview with Scooby Lucious. You've had a lot of different experiences. You've had your own record label. Yes. You've thrown shows. Your wife has been in this with you, been very solid in terms of supporting your love of music. But when it came to making your own studio, what was the driving force that made you say, I want to make my own studio, Mancave Studios?
That's a long, we can do that, but I'll shorten it up. Mm-hmm. I've always had a studio. Like I said before, a lot of the down south rap producers couldn't do beats for me.
Couldn't give you what you were asking for.
Right. So I always had a studio just so I could give a sample of what I wanted. I could take it to them and they could build on it. Mm. So I've always had a studio, or at least a drum machine or something. Mm-hmm. Pretty much my whole career. I would go in with something and give it to a producer, and he could build off of what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Learning from deep production. Mm-hmm. Got to give it up to Brian.
Yep, Brian Tyson, Platinum Records.
Yes. Mm-hmm. C Skills at Grown Man Music. Right. I learned a lot from them. Mm-hmm. I learned tremendous. We ain't even gonna go there. That's another whole conversation. I learned a lot from them, and they encouraged me to. You're halfway there. Mm. Just go ahead and put a mic up, and they helped me with the whole process, and that's how and the name, I was in the studio so much that it was my man cave, my personal man cave. Right. So that's why I named it Mancave Studios.
The Music Mixtape Weekend Experience, which is a movie, and also a soundtrack that was done solely in Mancave Studios. It was a wonderful mixtape project, involved a lot of different artists. And so I wanted to ask you this particular question. Working on an entire project with several different individuals, what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome to complete the project versus just dealing with one solo artist?
Well, that's easy. It was scheduling. Mm-hmm. Everybody's busy working on a solo project, mm-hmm. and I'm working on stuff, and just getting everybody on one page was challenging, but we got it done. Right. Right. We got it done. I can say that we got it done, right. And it was fun. It was actually fun for me.
It takes a lot to get people in a room, mm-hmm. willing to collaborate, and I think that's something that people take for granted. And I want to ask you a couple more questions before I let you go. One is to artists, because you have a studio, you recorded multiple people, you work with several people here in the Tampa area, the Jacksonville area, Florida and beyond, honestly connected to a lot of people who have had radio hits that you've worked with before they made it, and the audience just doesn't know. I don't want to say any names, but during the movie, there was a lot of people who I didn't even know that you had worked with who went on to achieve much more success outside of the local scene and beyond. So if you had any advice to give to artists to help them get to the next level when it comes to recording first and then beyond, what would be maybe a couple of tips that you would give the artist?
Never sell your dream short. Mm-hmm. Never sell your dream short, no matter what. Anybody tell you. If you believe in yourself, you can do
it. Special thanks to all involved with this project, and shout out to Scooby Lucious. And again, don't forget, this is a Man Cave and Clear Vision production.